The sun was sinking behind the red cliffs when Caleb Hart said the words he would one day wish he could take back. "Pick anything you want," he told his daughters, his voice rough from exhaustion and years of loneliness. Anything at all. He meant toys from the trading post. Maybe a horse. A bolt of bright cloth. Something small that could make two grieving girls smile again. He never imagined they would look past the stalls, past the trinkets, past everything money could buy, and point to a silent Apache woman standing alone at the edge of the camp. "We want that Apache woman as our mom." The world seemed to stop breathing. Caleb felt his heart slam against his ribs as if trying to escape. Around them, the desert wind hissed through dry grass, carrying the weight of unspoken rules and old hatreds. His daughters, Lily and May, held each other's hands tightly, their eyes steady and serious in a way that frightened him. They had not spoken those words lightly. The woman they pointed to was called Naya. She stood still as stone, her dark hair braided down her back, her face unreadable. She had been brought to the trading post weeks earlier after a violent clash between settlers and Apache warriors. Officially, she was a servant, but everyone knew the truth. She was a prisoner with no tribe left to claim her, no family waiting for her return. Caleb's mind raced. He was a widower raising two daughters on a struggling ranch near the edge of the frontier. Life had already taken his wife in childbirth, and since then, grief had settled into their home like dust, quiet, thick, impossible to fully sweep away. He had brought the girls to the trading post hoping to distract them, to give them a rare moment of joy. Instead, they had asked for the one thing he could not imagine giving. "Girls," he whispered urgently, kneeling in front of them. "You don't understand. She's not. She looks lonely," May said softly, her small fingers tightening around her sisters. "Like us." Lily nodded. "Mama used to say lonely people need love the most." Caleb felt something crack inside his chest. His daughters weren't thinking about skin color or tribe or what the town would say. They saw a woman standing alone in the dust, carrying the same quiet pain they carried every night when they whispered for their mother before falling asleep. Still, fear clawed at him. Bringing an Apache woman into his home would make him an outcast. The neighbors would talk. Some might threaten him. Others would refuse to trade with him. And what if she hated them? What if she ran away or, worse, sought revenge for everything she had lost? Caleb stood slowly and turned toward Naya. For the first time, their eyes met. There was no anger in her gaze. No softness either. Only a deep, weary sadness that spoke of burned villages, broken families, and a life stripped down to survival. "What is your name?" Caleb asked, his voice low. She hesitated, then answered quietly. "Naya." He swallowed hard. "My daughters, they've asked for something I didn't expect." Naya's eyes flickered toward the girls. For a brief moment, something changed in her expression, a faint, aching recognition. She knelt slightly to meet their gaze, not touching them, just close enough to be seen. "Why me?" she asked, not accusing, just tired. Lily took a step forward. "Because you don't have anyone." Naya closed her eyes. That night, Caleb made a decision that would change all their lives. He used nearly all his savings to secure Naya's release, officially hiring her as a helper for his ranch. The trader warned him he was making a mistake. Others laughed. Some spat in the dirt and turned away. As they rode home under a sky heavy with stars, silence filled the wagon. The girls leaned against Naya on either side, careful but hopeful. Naya sat stiffly, as if afraid that any movement might shatter this fragile moment. The first weeks were hard. Naya barely spoke. She rose before dawn, worked until her hands bled, and slept lightly, as if expecting danger at any moment. She flinched at loud noises and kept a knife hidden beneath her pillow. The girls tried to help her, offering smiles and small gifts, a wildflower, a ribbon, a half-broken doll. Caleb watched it all with a mixture of guilt and awe. He had brought a wounded soul into his home, but he had no idea how to heal her. The town did not make it easier. Neighbors stopped visiting. Children whispered cruel names when Lily and May walked past. Once, a rock shattered a window with a note tied around it, "You don't belong here." That night, Caleb considered taking Naya back to the trading post. He told himself it would protect everyone. But when he walked into the girls' room, he froze. Lily and May were asleep, curled against Naya like kittens. Naya sat awake between them, her arms wrapped around their small bodies, tears silently streaming down her face as she stared at the ceiling, as if afraid to believe this warmth was real. Caleb stepped back, his eyes burning. He knew then there was no turning back. Slowly, things began to change. Naya started teaching the girls words from her language, songs her mother had sung, stories about the stars. In return, Lily and May taught her how their mother used to bake bread, how she brushed their hair, how she used to laugh even when times were hard. Caleb saw Naya smile for the first time one evening as the girls chased fireflies near the barn. It was small and hesitant, but it lit something inside him he thought had died with his wife. Trouble came one autumn afternoon when a group of men rode up to the ranch, faces hard with suspicion and anger. They accused Naya of planning to escape, of being a danger to the town. Before Caleb could speak, May stepped forward, her voice trembling but firm. "She's our mom." The word hung in the air, powerful and defiant. Naya looked at May in shock, then at Lily, who nodded fiercely. Tears filled Naya's eyes, but she stood tall, placing a hand on each girl's shoulder. Caleb finally found his voice. "Anyone who wants to hurt her will have to go through me." The men left, not convinced, but unwilling to push further. Winter came hard, but the ranch was warmer than it had been in years. Laughter returned to the walls. Grief didn't disappear, but it softened, making room for something new. One night, as snow fell quietly outside, Naya spoke the words Caleb never expected to hear. "I cannot replace their mother," she said. "But if they will have me, I will love them with all I have left." Caleb nodded, his throat too tight for words. Years later, people would tell the story of the ranch where hate lost its grip, where two little girls chose love over fear, and a broken woman found a family where she least expected it. And it all began with a simple promise, spoken without thinking, that changed everything. Pick anything you want. Sometimes, the bravest choices aren't the easiest ones. Sometimes, they are the ones that teach us that family is not made by blood or rules or history, but by the courage to love when the world tells you not to.